Ford Puma Gen E and Ford Puma ST Hybrid. So we've got electric in the left corner, hybrid in the right corner. I'm so excited to share this video. So I'm here with the owner. The owner has this 1 litre ST. This is the facelift version of the Ford Puma, one of the best selling cars in the UK, really popular, sort of crossover, compact SUV, sort of derivative from the Fiesta and then sort of jumped up. I've had this Gen E for a few days now, and I've got it for 7 days. So looking forward to kind of like sharing a bit more on that kind of car. But I'm really curious to compare it with the hybrid. This is the 1 litre hybrid ST, which I've shared on my channel before. I love these little Pumas, and the owner has kindly come down to share it with me. What our plan is basically I'm going to take the owner out in the Gen E after I've just done this quick walk around. He hasn't experienced it yet before, so I'm super excited to see what he thinks. Big fast Ford fan like myself. And then after that, we're going to go out in the hybrid ST, the 1 litre, and then we'll come back and do a bit of a conclusion. So that's really the plan. So to have these cars side by side is super cool. 24 plate on that car, 25 plate on the Gen E. But just to give you a little bit of an idea of the specifications, so this car equivalent in terms of its kilowatt power is about 170 horsepower. Now the ST hybrid with the 1 litre is about 170 horsepower too. So that's going to be super, super interesting just to see how it kind of drives. The big difference is a little bit in the weight. I believe this is a good few hundred kilograms heavier because of its electric battery. Really actually efficient. It's got quite a small battery, but quite a strong range. Between about 200 and 250 miles, you'd certainly be able to get more range out of the petrol engine, petrol hybrid in this car. But in terms of efficiency, it's quite good. Now specifications, this is a very highly specified ST, get ST suspension. So it's a bit more, well, to be honest with you, I'm more into my performance kind of cars, which is why it's got the ST here. There isn't an ST or even like obviously like an RS version of the electric car. And my understanding from Ford is that they don't have plans to increase the power of this, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think there is room to potentially add more ST suspension in that, and I'll sort of discuss that on my drive, and yeah, super curious about that. You can see kind of like immediately how this car is lower as well. And this 1 litre hybrid engine is quite equivalent to an ST line as well. So hopefully this is going to be like a big help to you. They both have the 19-inch wheels. I love this Desert Island blue paint. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And this is in electric yellow paint. This is an option on the car. It's about an £800 option at the time of filming. August 2025 we're filming this. And this also has the contrast black roof as well. It's got the 19-inch alloy wheels, as you can see there, on some quite interesting, yeah, it's like Goodyear Eagle F1 tyres. It's quite cool. It's got a bit of the black pack as well. It's got some cool quirky features to kind of share with it. In the ST, well, yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely loving the front end of this. You've got the ST badge, Ford Performance down the side. I'm so curious about what Ford are doing, Ford Performance are doing in the future, being such a big fast Ford fan, and I want to understand where it can go. They sell the Mustang Dark Horse as of filming today, obviously very Ford Performance, 5 litre V8, but they've sort of discontinued the Focus ST, and they're stopping a few things, but both these two cars are currently still for sale in August 2025. You can get the ST and you can get the Gen E. Ford are heavily pushing the Gen E. If you check on the website, it's all about the Puma Gen E, it's all about that. Are we quite there? I'm not so sure, but, well, and again, I'm really curious to know what you guys think in the comments, and sort of seeing these cars side by side. So get involved, it's a community channel. Very curious to know what my subscriber thinks. But let's just go for a little walk around with these cars facing, and we'll spin them around after I take the owner out in the Gen E, and then we go out in the hybrid. But yeah, they're essentially, the good thing about this Gen E is it looks exactly the same as the petrol equivalent. That's what's really, really nice about it. I do like the back end of these cars as the sun's just poking through on this gorgeous August day. The Gen E gets sort of like white badges as well. Electric, you get the greens shown. Obviously no exhaust pipes or anything like that. It's got some really quirky features at the bottom. It's got like a gigabox storage, which is quite cool. And the black contrasting roof, you can option a panoramic roof. This car doesn't have it. In the ST, the 1 litre, this owner has got the contrast black roof, and it has got a panoramic roof as well. ST at the back, and you've got the ST exhaust pipes. from my sort of feelings, this car sounds really, really good. Obviously, this car doesn't make a noise at all, although it does make a little bit of an electric whir. I love the sound. Fast Fords make really good noises, particularly the Puma. And you've got the black Puma badge there with the ST shown. With both cars have reversing camera. This one has like this really cool area view. It's really, really super sleek. You've on the ST, I'm so excited to go through this. You've got the Sport Contact 7 tyres, again, on the 19-inch wheels. Now, it's 225 section, so decent orientated tyres, which at the end of the day, that's what you put your power down in. So tyres are important. No grille on the front of that. That's the big change. Trying to get into line with the electric kind of side of things because it doesn't need to cool anything. This car obviously actually has an engine up front to kind of go through. Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be super interesting to see what my owner thinks. But I'll briefly show you a little bit inside. Keyless kind of entry. You've got the new sort of facelift steering wheel as well. On the handling pack, which I've shared on my channel before. Love to get that back on the channel, actually. If you like this video, yeah, I'll see what I can do. You get the sort of like the older sort of like circular round steering wheel, whereas this is sort of like got a little bit of a shape to it. Quite thin, quite large actually as well for this class of car. You get the new Sync 4 infotainment as well, which we'll kind of go through. These seats are quite nice with the white sort of effect. You don't get a transmission sort of here, so you get a little bit more space. Yeah, overall, it's a Puma. You get the new sort of like, it's kind of like a stuck-on dash thing. I'm still not 100% sure. A friend sort of commented on it, wasn't sure. Puma badge, nice little touches. It's a friendly Ford, shall we say. The lights kind of light up quite cool as well at the front. Both cars do that. And yeah, you can see that's lowered. I mean, you can really see what suspension travel does. Look at the gap in that. This car I have found personally very, very comfortable. I've driven these before. They are pretty great. Big difference you're going to notice in this car as we kind of step inside. We'll step in from this side because it's a little bit tight on that. Is the Ford Performance seats. I love these seats. I go on about them all the time. You can get them in like the Focus ST. Brilliant. You've got the panoramic roof too. You get the same infotainment system, but with Ford Performance. You get the same wheel, but it's with red stitching. And yeah, obviously you actually have a gearbox in this car. So you get the automatic gearbox, manual handbrake. It's all auto in that car, no gears. And that's the sort of aspect of it. So more performance orientated in here, but that's so much about my channel. And yeah, ST stitching, already even just looking in it, it feels like more my kind of car, I'm not going to lie. Don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful to have this car from Ford. And, you know, if at the end of the day, if you like the video and enjoy the content, gives more opportunities to get more cars to potentially share some cool comparisons. But yeah, ultimately, Ford Puma versus Ford Puma, electric versus hybrid, Jenny versus the 1 litre. It's going to be really, really exciting to kind of go through this. You can also see the front end design is slightly different. Yeah, you can kind of see just from that, the visual aspect, but they've sort of retained in the electric, and this is kind of like a cost saving in some ways, because you want a car that can actually be affordable. These cars start from just under £30,000. This particular car is spec'd up to £35,000. The Puma STs, you can get them around £30,000, rising to sort of like £33,000, £34,000, depending on specification. So very, very similar in terms of spec. So it's like, and the reason why Ford were able to get that at such a low price is because they just basically took what they had and repurposed it with a battery. I think that's quite a clever thing to do personally, because it's enabled them to get a car at the right price. But I tell you what, I'm going to take the owner, big thank you to my subscriber coming down, filmed with this car before, out in the Puma Jenny, and we're going to go for a drive and have a little chat and see what we think about the Jenny, park up, go for a drive in the hybrid. And it's basically kind of like, from my kind of side, are we ready for fully electric, or is hybrid the way to go? Or should we just go back to petrol? Well, at the moment, it's hybrid or electric, it seems. So I hope you enjoy this film, because we've got plenty more to share. Yeah, you'll join us in the Gen E, and I'm super excited to see what my subscriber thinks of that car.
Thank you, by the way, so much for coming down and sharing the cars. Showing your ST. I guess the first thing to kind of note, this obviously isn't an ST. It's not the performance kind of realm. But what are your initial impressions, actually?
My initial impressions are, it's very nice in here. I would like to see the panoramic roof.
Luckily, that is an option you can get. So,
but this is obviously, compared to my ST, this center console area is quite high up, so you feel a bit more cocooned. The general finish in it is very similar. I do like the grey inserts that they've got in on the doors and around the dash area, and the seats themselves are quite nice to sit in and to in appearance as well.
A bit different to the Ford Performance seats in yours. Which
absolutely,
are, lovely, I have to say.
Yeah, they are really good. I mean, on a long journey, you never get any backache with those.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. And you seem quite similar to myself, past Ford fan. Yeah. And I guess I've been really curious to kind of compare these two cars, because I want to see what Ford are going to do in the small sort of compact sort of range in Ford Performance. And I guess this hasn't got an engine, but do you see a potential where this could be like an ST?
I do. I think the only problem with the electric cars, obviously they got instant torque and they're very, very quick off the line, and obviously they're very, very quiet. But what puts me off electric cars is part of the enjoyment is the sound of the engine. Let's be honest. If you've got a car with a burbly exhaust, and as you accelerate, it's half the thrill of it driving it. Whereas these, they're very practical, they're very comfortable, they're very refined, but they lack that sort of excitement. They lack the drama, if you know what I mean. I mean, and if you synthesize it and make an artificial sound, it's not the same, because you know that it is. I better put some sunglasses. You know that it is. Sunny day. Yeah, you know that it's artificial, so it's not quite the same.
We've got this in normal mode at the moment.
Wow, it pushes you back, doesn't it? It's instant.
The one thing that I definitely, from my time in this car so far, it's not slow.
No, it's definitely not slow.
There's no noise. If we'll play around with the modes, because it's got its sort of like race mode setting, and it makes sort of like a generated noise. I guess, I mean, you know my channel, I like my performance stuff. I like a bit of a stiffer car. This is quite comfortable.
Yes,
it's on 19-inch wheels as well.
Right. It's got a softer ride. You can feel it. It's definitely, definitely more compliant. Obviously with the ST, although I don't have the that handling pack in mind, because it wasn't available when I ordered it. If it had been, I would have purchased that as well. But it's still a very firm ride, and I noticed recently when I was down in the West Country a couple of weeks ago that where the roads were a little bit rough and bumpy, it could be a little bit jiggly and a bit uncomfortable.
It's a tough balance, because I kind of go with like what I found this car to be great at in terms of its comfortability in certain areas, but there's been times where I've gone into corners genuinely and I've wanted that stiffer suspension, because I feel this car rolls, and we'll see when we get into yours. Yours will stay more, and that for me adds actually an element of comfort.
Yes.
Because of the fact the car doesn't sort of like tilt on itself. I'm just kind of, I've sort of been happy to be in this car, but I'll be honest, I'm so excited about yours, because it's like I want to kind of see a blend of the two, you know. Maybe there's a way to have, like, in the future Ford might put like an ST badge on this and have your suspension on this, and
I think they'll probably base things on the sale value, you know, how successful this is, and if it does well. I think what Ford do, they don't sort of always introduce the performance model straight away. You've probably noticed that over the years. They always have them in right at the end, and it was the same. You remember the Focus RS? It was near at the end, wasn't it? And so they keep their sort of fan base hanging on all the time for the performance model, wondering what they're going to do. And obviously, with the car like this, it's going to depend, as I said earlier, it's going to depend on how it sells and how well it does. But from my point of view, for an electric vehicle, this looks better than most of them, because they're all
the same,
yeah,
as yours.
Yeah, they look the same, and it's very similar to a petrol car. Why these electric cars all have to look like they've been designed with a ruler and with straight lines and everything? Most of them I find really, really hideous to look at, to be honest. They're not interesting, whereas the Pumas, this has retained its interesting looks.
I'm 100% with you, and looks are subjective, and let us know in the comments what you think, but I think the looks are great, and the fact that it looks like an ordinary petrol kind of car kind of makes the transition a little bit easier. We'll knock it into, if I can remember how all the kind of modes, there's so many modes. You get yours in like the steering wheel and bits, but we got the drive modes. It's got Eco Sport slippery. We'll put it into Sport, and it doesn't change the suspension or anything like that, but everything is a little bit more instant, basically. So the steering goes a bit firmer, and we've got a national speed limit bit. I'm curious to know what you think on this car with its. Yeah, I'll hang on, and then just.
Whoa. It picks up really well, doesn't it?
It picks up well, and then it just starts to run out of puff.
Yeah.
So you're sort of like 0 to 40 or 10 to 40, it's okay, but 40 to then 60, it's just a little bit.
Yeah, and I would presume they're trying to balance performance with range, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because that's the other disadvantage. And having done a sort of a touring holiday down in the West Country before with a plug-in hybrid, obviously that was different because I had the engine and you can drive it just like an ordinary hybrid. But there were times when I was in car parks and there were drivers with electric cars, and there was a guy with a Jaguar.
Oh yeah.
And he could not get his car to charge.
I'm petrified about that. I know I have had range. Out of interest, what sort of range do you get out of your hybrid, your ST? Because you were saying you got 60 mpg coming down.
Between 360 and 400.
That's really good.
And that's the minimum, really, because on the way down, because I was driving well within the speed limits, trying to avoid. Obviously, I wasn't in a rush to get it because I was up early, but I was just taking it really easy. And I checked the car park. In the car park, I checked my miles per gallon, and it was 60.7.
Wow, that is brilliant, and that's my. This has quite a small battery actually. And I'm still trying to learn the kind of electric things. Ford quote about 233 miles. When I picked this up, when Ford dropped this off to me, it's full charge. It said 199. So 200 miles to 250 miles. I don't know. I think that's if you can charge from home, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I spoke to another friend who's also a reviewer, and she tested this car as economically as possible. So she just drove it really, really economical, and she got 266 miles.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Which is pretty good, but that's, bear in mind, that's like everything eco, really, really taking it softly. Wow, person in the middle of the road. So I'm with you. If you're going down to, say, like the West Country, you're going down. I had a subscriber who was from Wales last week, and he said to me, oh, sometimes there's nowhere to charge within 50 miles.
You could well run out of power, and then you're stuck.
It is challenging, and I'm curious to know people in the comments who've spent more time with electric cars. I think for me, this car works really, really well. I think if you can charge from home, like if you say go on like a little bit of, say, like a day trip, maybe you're going down to the seaside in the UK or something like that, 70 miles there, 70 miles back. This is absolutely fine, because you're going to be able to get there, spend time with your family, come back, and then you can just plug your car in at home. I think for those who perhaps, for example, I don't have a home charger, so I'm sort of anxious about making sure I've got enough range for films. For the film with yourself, I'll do a little bit of a point of view, and I've got 128 miles, 70%, so I know I'm okay for what we have to do. But there's no denying it's on my mind, and it does cause a bit of a stress. And going more into the performance area orientation of a car, you're gonna likely burn even more range because you might be pushing it on. So I like the balance of hybrid, and we'll talk more about yours when we kind of get in it. But yeah, it's just like there's so much I've liked about this car, because it's felt quite big, yet it's quite small and compact on the road. And Fords just always have that sort of DNA, even like from your basic, your entry level Ford Puma, of being quite fun.
Yeah, they're fun cars to drive. There's no doubt about it. Yeah,
and this is the same. But I mean, you might not notice it because of the torque, but this car, and don't 100% quote me on this, but from what I've heard, is it weighs 300 kilos more than yours.
wow.
I mean, that's a lot.
That is an awful lot.
That's
that
like
is.
a full 5 people
Yeah.
in your Puma all the time,
Yeah.
with this having a 1 passenger. That dents performance, obviously dents economy, and it does affect the fun as well. I haven't hugely noticed the weight too much, because I think the torque is so good. It's so quick off the line. I mean, off traffic lights, you're just done. Like that 0 to 35.
I've noticed the pull on it, the initial pull, it surprises you because you're not expecting it, and then suddenly this surge of power, and it does it because it's so quiet in how it delivers it.
Yeah.
you're expecting this roar to come from under the bonnet, and it's just not there. It's I mean, if you're looking for a car, and you're looking to just generally drive around town and make sort of shorter trips, and you've got your own charging point at home, these sort of cars they're ideal.
Yes.
They're great in the cities, they're great in the towns, they don't put any sort of pollution out at source, so that they are good for that. And obviously, let's say the initial pull off the line is really good. Yeah, you can feel it, can't you?
It's got that word.
Yeah, it's got a word to it. Yeah. So that does give it a little bit of sound, but it's like you say, it's efficient. It does what it does well, and obviously I think with technology the battery ranges will improve.
Yeah.
And obviously the solid state, they're talking about the solid state batteries, aren't they? And I think they'll once they get those sorted out, you could probably find ranges going to 500-600 miles.
I think that's definitely going to be the key. And actually, I was discussing with a friend, the same friend who reviewed the car before, and you know, you can get some electric cars which can do sort of 360, 370 miles, but their batteries aren't actually efficient. This is something that I'm learning. They've just got a huge battery, whereas Ford have actually got one of the most efficient batteries, because of the fact that it's so small. They get the better range out of it. So Ford are kind of working towards it. And I've not been too convinced on Ford's other electric cars. The Mustang, obviously, we were discussing the V8 version,
the Mach-E, yeah.
The Mach-E. And they platform share with Volkswagen with their other ones like the Capri. So I don't really know where they are at. Whereas this feels like Ford's actually really given it a shot of their own sort of take on electric.
It's their own baby, sort of thing. And I think you're right there. I mean, from my point of view, I still think the hybrids are the best balance, because you don't have that range anxiety. If you've got a plug-in hybrid and you plug it in and you're just driving around town, you can rely on the electric side of it all the time. But if you do find yourself in a position where your electric range is gone, you can't charge it up because there aren't any charge, you're not going to worry, because you've got your good old-fashioned internal combustion engine to see you through.
Oh, exactly. And because you can go on trips with yours, particularly your car being able to do 350 to 400 miles, and you know you've got a petrol station to fill up, but you actually also get, and I'm curious to when I experience yours, you do get that hybrid electric assistance,
yes,
which gives you that extra torque. I mean, I certainly never questioned the performance, probably in either car. This has a claim 0 to 60 of 8 seconds.
Yeah.
I believe yours is more in the 7.
Yeah, it's about 7. I think Ford have claimed about 7.4, but I've seen road testers get it down to about 6.9 or whatever. So you can get it lower. And bearing in mind that is only a 1 litre engine.
It's pretty incredible.
So when you think, I still think that the Ford's 1 litre, now they've dealt with that wet belt nonsense, and they've gone back to chains, which is a pity they didn't have in the first place.
So is yours chained?
Yes,
Yours
it's
is
chain
okay.
on mine, so you don't have any of that anxiety about a wet belt or anything. You've got a good old-fashioned chain on it.
Do you know what year that came about? The chain?
I can't off the top of my head.
Would it
No.
be facelift Puma?
Yeah, it was. They put chains. I think they went back to chains on it about 23. They started to put the chains back on them because obviously the issues. I mean, Peugeot were the same. They got their fingers burnt with the wet belts.
It's pretty tough. Yeah, for people who are not familiar, who probably should be familiar, it's just a large issue, and there's a big cost if something goes wrong with the wet belt, essentially. And it seemed like if it was more for people who didn't keep their car serviced properly, I think, that the wet belt would suddenly fail.
Yeah, because it's not changing the oil.
Yeah, and obviously the advantage, some of the positives of the car we're in now, there's no wet belt, there's not that much to go wrong, really.
No,
it's quite simple.
it is. It is simple.
It's a battery, you know, and that's really it. And Ford, I've seen actually, they're trying to do some like incentives. I've seen their stuff like they'll pay for like a charger, and they'll give you like range, 8-year warranty on the battery, all these kind of things, which is all going to be subjective to the type of time that you buy the car, because it just depends on the time of season. They're trying to make it work, and I guess for me, I often see it as like when I spend time in, say, like a Puma ST line, it was like, oh wow, how good's the ST going to be? Although this isn't necessarily an ST line, it's just this is the Gen E Premium. I can see potential where, you know what, stiffen up the suspension. Could they squeeze a little bit more power out of it? Maybe. And then we could have a performance orientated Puma into the future.
I think that's a possibility. Obviously, I don't know with the battery technology that we've got at the moment. The Puma's quite a small car, so and they probably the whole sort of thing with the Puma is you've got that mega box in the boot.
So this has a gigabox.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
I
so
mean,
it's even bigger.
I'll show you it.
Wow.
I'll show you it when we park up before we go into the Puma. It's pretty good. I just kind of want to slow this down a little bit because I'd love to share it with you, just going from like 10 to
instantaneous,
and
isn't it?
What I've noticed as well, this spins its wheels. I mean, we've got a hot day at the moment. It's very, very quick off the line. Very, very quick. Like from 0 to that 30, this is good. But we're just going to come to an end of the drive in this before we hop into your hybrid. What's kind of like just sitting as a passenger, getting a feel for
as a passenger? It's a very refined. The seats are comfortable. They're not ST seats. They're not the Ford Performance ST seats, but they're still very comfortable. They're very supportive. They've still got plenty of lateral support. Yeah. The ride on it is a good compromise when you're going along and doing what we've just done. Yeah. Obviously, if you were to start pushing it round corners, you know, like you would in a full fat ST, then you're going to lose. It's not going to handle as well, and it's not going to feel quite so much fun. But from a general commuting sort of point of view and comfort wise, I mean, quite impressed. It's refined and it's very comfortable.
Just looking at yours, it looks absolutely gorgeous in the blue.
Yeah, it's a nice colour, that blue. I did want the Azura blue actually.
The Azura blue looks amazing. That was one of the first ones that I managed to try actually from Ford.
Yeah, I watched that review.
Yeah, I remember.
I watched that when I was before, because I kept watching that review all the time. I think I wanted that. When I went to buy one, they didn't do that blue anymore. I was really annoyed, and so I had to get that blue instead.
It's the same as yours really in here. Other than the transmission tunnel we were talking about, you got the space. You can kind of see the yellow just shown there. It's a nice little place, but
what I have noticed is you've got grab handles in this one. And in my one, where I've got the panoramic roof, the grab handles are deleted.
No way.
Have a look when you get in. You'll notice they've deleted grab handles because of the panoramic roof.
That's super interesting. We'll hop into your hybrid and we'll share the same route. Really curious to know what you think. For me, because a lot of my audience, a lot of what I share is the performance stuff. My thinking is this electric car, imagine the Ford Performance seats in here, stiffer suspension. I mean, on the handling pack, you can obviously get the KW suspension. maybe change a little bit of just something in that regards. Speed wise, I don't think it's lacking that much. I don't think it needs that much more.
It's got very good acceleration, this.
And yeah, well, you'll join us in the hybrid, but I briefly want to show you this Gigabox. So yeah, let's go for that and go from there. This is going to be a bit of a surprise. So first of all, you got like the little kick thing. See if I can do it. There we go, first time. And got my bag in there, and you think like, oh yeah, it's not that much of a bigger boot. Check out the size of this.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, that is, I don't even think the camera's going to do it justice. You could literally echo down there.
That's vast. It's so much bigger than the Mega Box in mine. That would be really useful to go on holiday with that.
That is, I mean, that is enormous. You could almost get like a kid's bike.
Yeah, that's as big as a pedaling pool, isn't it?
Under the floor. It's absolutely incredible. And I know yours has got the Mega Box. But yeah, quirky little feature. You also got the tailgate. Yeah, go for it. Let's hop in the hybrid and go for the same route. Right, so you join us in the Puma ST hybrid, and I was just saying to you, I guess I feel I take it for granted when I drive these kind of performance cars and I have the opportunities with owners. Once you get out of a car which isn't a performance orientated necessarily car, I get into this, I was just smiling so much. But yeah, we're kind of discussing a few things. I mean, there's a big difference in the transmission tunnel, and I'll show that once we've done the drive. This the steering, I think you might be, the steering wheel does look a little bit different, doesn't it?
It looks a bit fatter, it looks smaller.
Yeah, sorry, do you mind if I...
no, you can have it how you want.
Make sure I'm all okay. The seats, I love them, man. They're so nice. And we got the pan roof. It does make it, I'm feeling a little bit more, like we've got a little bit more space actually.
Yeah, it does feel a bit, it feels more spacious, because that transmission tunnel that you've got, all the centre console sort of thing, it's quite high up, isn't it, for some reason. I don't know why they've done it like that. Maybe it's to make you feel a bit more cocooned, I don't know.
I've got to remember now that I'm not in I've got a car with an actual automatic gearbox, manual handbrake, whereas that is just so sort of does it all for you kind of thing. But we'll start her up and we're going to have an actual engine sound now. There we go. Ford nail sounds. We were talking about the paintwork as well, and how obviously the pearlescent sort of paint in that as well is pretty good.
It's got a lovely colour.
It's a nice little rumble. So I'm just loving it. Yeah, actually, from your perspective, you've obviously lived with this car, so nearly 6,000 miles. Yeah, how have you found it? 57.5 mpg as well.
Yeah, that's it. Obviously, I've done about 5,732 miles in it now, so obviously it's long running. I think when we last tested this, it had done about 2,000, hadn't it?
Yes.
And it was still pretty new, so it's run in now, and so I've had it in sport mode. Obviously, we've got it in normal mode at the moment.
We'll do the same as we did in the Gen E. We'll start it in normal and then go to sport.
And I just find that with the sport mode, I like it just because it gives the exhaust a deeper burble, which is another thing that Ford have always done on their cars, and they've done it with sort of the Mustang as well, because the Mustang's got quiet mode, normal modes, sport mode and track mode. So obviously the Mustang, you just drive it around with the track mode on the exhaust, so that you've got that full. I mean, let's be honest, if you've got a V8 like that, you want to hear it.
You want to hear it.
That's what the fun of an internal combustion engine gives you. It gives you that sound and the drama, which you don't get with an electric car.
You just don't. And I mean, you can see from the camera, and this is why I love doing first reactions. Oh, a nice Porsche there, again a combustion engine car. I'm smiling so much. I love it. We got it in auto mode. Yeah, I mean, and it actually does feel quick. Not only does it feel quicker, it is going quicker.
Yeah, and that's in normal mode.
We've got a sunny day, so we've got the pan roof open, but I'll keep an eye on it just in case it affects the camera or anything like that. Obviously, stiffer suspension. We're in an ST, although I also, you may check out on my channel, I drove the handling pack as well, which stiffens the suspension even more actually. This feels like quite a nice balance actually. into the road.
I just obviously I probably would have purchased that handling pack had it been available, because when I buy or get my cars, I always like to spec them up with everything. And obviously there's not some of the options you think, oh, I don't want a tow bar or things like that on a car like this.
Just charge it brief. Is it an electric? Or, yeah, just because of the camera, just so.
The roof is actually electric, but the blind is only manual on this.
That's okay.
It's the Cougar I had everything was electric.
So the feeling I get in this car, because I feel that's such a big part of car ownership, I get more of a connection with this. I mean, we're in literally the same car. It's very similar dash. Obviously, the transmission tunnel's different. You've got a bit of a whir. Suspension is obviously a little bit firmer, but I love that connection to the ground. I feel like I'm trying to work out if the wheel is different. It obviously has the same sort of shape, but it definitely is a little bit of a.
It's a bit smaller, because a lot of people have been saying, oh, they don't like the square wheel, but I think once you get used to it, it's not a lot different just from an ordinary flat bottomed wheel.
And it's very thin, very, very thin. Very, very nice on that regard. I can't stop smiling. So this is essentially the last ST that Ford are currently making new, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's still for sale as of August 2025. I'm filming this. This is for sale. You know, I can't. We don't know how long it's going to go. Obviously, they don't make the Focus ST anymore. That you can't get them new. And the hybrid, it almost feels like it's got that advantage of the pickup that the electric had off the line. Not quite as much, because obviously it's not fully electric.
And and the fact that you've got a mild hybrid, you're still sort of ticking the environmental boxes to a certain degree, but you're not losing that sort of drama and the benefits of being able to just stop at a petrol garage, fill your car up in a couple of minutes, and you're off again, rather than having to charge up over a period of like 30-40 minutes, depending.
Well, we're about to go past the Shell garage, which has a bit of electric charging and petrol to fill up. We could drive in, fill this up with petrol, less than three minutes, gone on our way. And then that would give you an extra 350-400 miles. Regardless of how quick charging becomes, you just can't do that. You just can't on an electric car.
Well, no, exactly.
I'm going to pop it into sport mode.
Well, if you look at how much petrol I've got left in my tank, I've still got more than half a tank, I think. And that's after having driven all the way back from Exmoor.
Wow.
And driven to Dunstable and around, and I haven't filled that up since I left Somerset. So,
and it's saying 109.
So that's how much fuel that it's used very little fuel. I tend to use I only ever use super unleaded.
Yeah.
I don't use the E10 stuff because it's rubbish anyway.
I'm always Tesco 99 or Shell V-Power. That's my one.
That's exactly what I do. Shell V-Power or the Tesco. The Tesco Momentum. I mean, that's
really good, and it's better value.
It's really good value. And funny enough, I was looking
at the Burble.
Oh, it's got a Burble. Yeah, the Burble's better in the sport mode. It's instant pull on this as well, isn't it?
So, okay, straight away, this feels a lot quicker, which I'm really surprised about, because they're both the same quoted power, and this does feel lighter. I'm feeling that lighter 200-300 kilos in this.
You've got what I do notice, obviously you've got more tyre and road noise coming through into this. Yes. That was better suppressed in the electric variant, but this, you've got the advantage of the handling. You can definitely go around corners
and
a lot faster.
The smile factor.
I think you do get this is definitely more fun.
Oh, yeah, fun factor.
There's the novelty value of the electric, but this has got the fun factor.
Oh, it's good. And obviously you can go onto the paddles as well. Have you used the paddles much, or do you tend to leave
I used them a lot on the A39 when I was down in the West Country.
Oh, brilliant.
There's a fabulous stretch of road between Minehead and Linton and Lynmouth.
Oh.
And if you drive that, lots of turns and bends and uphill and downhill, and it's fantastic. And I was using the paddle shifters on that quite a lot because I found it quite good fun.
Oh, and it feels amazing, and obviously it's all subjective for tolerance. For me, I quite like a car with this kind of suspension. It doesn't feel overly too firm for me, but I feel like I can be engaged in the car, and it suits the Puma because it feels so small and nimble and light.
I think you're right there, and I think now this car's run in. I found when I first bought this, the engine was very tight.
Okay, yeah.
And it's loosened up nicely now at sort of just over 5,500 miles. It's loosened up to the point where you can, when you open it up, you can feel it going, can't you? You can feel that pull.
It feels noticeably quicker, and I'm really surprised about that. Because it's not only just the feeling, this feels quicker because you get the noise, you get that more sort of connection. It is actually going quicker as well.
Yeah.
So the Gen E, it didn't feel, it wasn't going as quick, if that made sense. I was checking the speedo in it. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm sorry. I'm just my early sort of conclusion before we kind of park up. I think the hybrid is the way to go still. I think if you're choosing between the electric or this, I think I'd go for this.
Yeah.
I'm just on that.
I'm with you as well. Like you say, that burble, yeah, it's got a lovely burble to it, and it's definitely, as it's loosened up, it's definitely become more fun to drive as well. It's really responsive.
It doesn't
now.
feel as tight. And actually, I obviously had the experience of driving it.
Yeah, you drove it at 2,000 miles, where it was barely run in then, and everything feels better on it. I don't know if the car just feels better.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that lovely M3 Touring.
Yeah,
I love those.
Lovely colour, that.
Yeah, in the green.
In the green.
And that's the thing as well about the electric. So that car I've got there has done about 2,600 miles. But does it? A battery doesn't loosen up, does it?
No, it doesn't
I guess
loosen
the
up.
suspension might, but it's like.
Yeah, you're right.
You grow with a car like this.
Yeah, this you get. I've got so used to this car now, all the little things of the ride and everything else, that it's going to be hard. I'm going to find it difficult when I change it. It's got to be something very similar, I think. And obviously, I want to keep an internal combustion engine as long as I can. So when I change this, it's going to have a go for a car with an internal combustion engine. But the hybrid factor definitely makes it better, because it's giving the car that instant electric pull, isn't it? You're not getting you don't get turbo lag or anything. You get that instant surge of power.
That's a really good point. It's the pickup on this. You get the best of both worlds. You get that hybrid technology, which does give you that electrical assistance to get you going, and then you've still got the petrol engine, and Ford have done wonders. We mentioned about the wet belt, obviously this being change driven and stuff, but a 3-cylinder 1 litre to get 170 horsepower, I mean, credit where credit's due. That's really good.
Yeah, no, I think with 1 litres, Ford have led the way, because the other manufacturers are. If you look at the other cars and they're trying to squeeze out, I think that the competitors are maybe a maximum of 150, 155, and Ford have managed to get that extra bit out of it to give it to 170, and it's more than adequate for what you need it for.
We're getting up to the speed limit, absolutely no problems. There's so much of me that's really smiling and so happy in this car, and I think of Ford Performance and I think of it great. But I also do think, I don't know where Ford are going on Ford Performance, and I can't seem to find out from Ford either. I've got a Ford press car, so I have some sort of relationship, which I'm very grateful for. But I'm sort of like, where are you at? Because they have this Gen E as on their press fleet as a press car. They also have a Ford Mustang Dark Horse 5-litre V8.
I'm very interested in that.
Which I'm also very interested in, and I would, based on pretty much how the video goes here, might give me the opportunity with more stuff. But it also makes me quite confused in terms of, you've got a 5-litre V8 petrol and you've got an electric car, and it's like, where do you want to be with the performance side? And for me, the hybrid it, the hybrid still works. And I know they still make this car, but I just, I don't know. I don't know the future. I don't know what you feel.
Like I say, I'm hoping that Ford, obviously, they're talking about hydrogen internal combustion engines, and I'm hoping that they sort of do develop those, because I still think that more fun can be had with an internal combustion engine. It has that sound, and it has a bit more drama. And obviously, all credit to Ford for still producing that wonderful, normally aspirated V8 that they've still got in there.
I have no idea how. I mean, we're August 2025 and they're still selling that car. It doesn't make any sense, and it almost makes me a bit confused. You know, they dropped the models like the Fiesta, and obviously they've lost the Focus ST for reasons which involve emissions. Yeah, and it's like they've got that. So I just. And
it's very disappointing. If you're a Ford fan, it's very disappointing, and they've obviously they will lose. They will lose customers, loyal customers, because people will look elsewhere to get that sort of same enjoyment that they had.
I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to do these back to back, and I don't know if anyone's really done it before, the Gen E electric and the hybrid.
I don't think I've seen anything like that.
And I have, again, been fortunate. I've driven the 1.5 Puma, I've driven the Puma handling pack, I've obviously driven your car before as well. Spent time in even an ST line before, just not even the STs, and I love the Pumas. I think small, nimble, easy to park. It's a great car as just a car, really is, and that's one thing I have to credit to the Gen E. It's a car. It does a great job of being a car. Super great. Do I want that little bit more fun? Yes. Do I feel less or more anxious in this car? I feel less anxious in this car, because if you're going on long journeys, I know I can fill up anywhere I want to go. I don't have the luxury of charging from home. I'm also, I will bring into costs into the equation. This car is very similarly priced to the electric version. They're very like early 30 sort of thousands if you want to put some options on it. And I was speaking to a friend, and it's like, again, I'll talk back to people who really know their stuff. Another reviewer. And she was just saying to me, you know, it doesn't matter if the range goes further, you've still got to pay for that electric. You know, if you've got an electric car with a range of 400 plus miles, you can be getting charged sort of like up to like £100 on just for the electric. If you go to the wrong place on like a services on the side, and
it defeats the object.
It defeats the object, and when you're charging from home, you're paying for that energy. Don't think it's this sort of like free thing. I mean, I'll do my proper conclusion when we park up, but my kind of feelings are the hybrid is the way to go. But yeah, sorry, how do you feel?
I generally, back to back, I agree with you. The reason I went for one of these again, I didn't even look at a fully electric car, because I don't feel that the infrastructure's in place. And the last thing I wanted was this charge rage situation when I'm going on holiday, when you're running low on battery power, so you want to charge it up, and you've got a queue of people waiting for chargers.
Of course, more people are out in the summer as well, aren't
absolutely. The most important time of the year for people with going on holidays and driving is the summer, and if they're if they're all out on the roads at the same time, how are you going to manage? You just don't have the chargers available to satisfy public demand.
I feel a lot more confident on the front end on this as well.
Yeah, you've been smiling a lot more.
I can't stop smiling. I literally can't stop smiling, and that's where the camera doesn't lie. No. You know, you've got us facing forward. I'm not like just. I really, first of all, so grateful to have the opportunity with that Ford press car, and I think the car is really good.
No, it is a nice car. It looks nice, and it's very comfortable.
Very comfy. I'm kind of wanting a little bit more, but I'm just like,
it doesn't have the excitement, the drama.
It doesn't have the excitement, and it's just even like the front end of it and what Ford are kind of all about. And I mean, I'm going to have to do a walk around conclusion. I think you probably know what my conclusion's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's like,
be the same as mine, I think, really.
Yeah, I mean, I want to share this in a way where it's like, if you're putting your hard-earned money into a car, and a lot of the marketing from a manufacturer is going to be what they want us to, you know, it's a them thing.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
And I might burn my bridges here, but obviously, you know, they Ford want me to say, well, not want me to say, but they're showing me a car to sort of get my impressions. I enjoy the car, I really, really do. Just today, it's the hybrid, and they do sell the hybrid new, so you can get it that way. I don't, and I'm curious, so curious in the comments, maybe I'm looking too far in the future and I should think about the here and now, because the here and now, you have the option of getting the hybrid. I'd get the hybrid.
I would as well. So you've got the option of the ST line with 155 horsepower, which is pretty good. And then if you want to go the full fat ST, which is the route that I would always take, because I think to be honest, the ST looks better as well. And these seats,
lower, you see it side by side, big time.
It's lower, it's more planted, and the full performance seats are supremely comfortable.
Pan roof, which you can get on the electric, and I would say pan roof, yes.
But that's where you see no grab handles.
Oh yeah, which you probably do need in this. You're a little bit
yeah. But well, I mean, at the same time, it's.
I prefer the interior.
You prefer the interior? Yeah, overall I prefer the interior. You got the red stitching here.
The big part as well is, and I'm a great believer of this, the consumer will win. Because if people are not buying certain cars, there's no margin in it. There's no way a manufacturer can actually make any money. Yeah, well, you were just saying the interior, and this is the ST. You got the red stitching. I quite like it. The steering wheel, it's hard to tell if it feels smaller.
It looks smaller.
I think it is smaller, and I heard someone say that they've used that steering wheel in some of the larger electric cars, right, like the Explorer. Yeah. They've just basically obviously saved on money. And there's the little paddles, and you've got the auto gearbox, so you've got a bit of engagement, manual handbrake. These seats, I've driven them in the Fiesta ST. Obviously they don't make the Fiesta. They're great, aren't they? They're just a smile factor. Red stitching here. Is there anything that you would feel, because obviously you've spent a great amount of time in this car and a little bit of time in the Gen E, for people watching, or your kind of summary, I suppose?
If you want a fun car, and you really enjoy your driving, I would go for the hybrid ST. If you are more into comfort, refinement, and you're not going to be going on sort of long holidays in sort of remote areas, then the Gen E would be good. So it depends. If you want fun, definitely go for the hybrid ST. If you want sort of a bit more comfort and you want to go that little bit greener, then obviously the Gen E's for you. Really, that would be my conclusions.
Yeah, and that seems like a real fair conclusion. Well, I'll pop out and do a little bit of walk around and share my final thoughts. Thank you so much, by the way. You know, I could not be more blessed with such amazing subscribers. You know, we're an early Sunday morning, 8 o'clock, taking the time out. Second time you shared me this car and given me the opportunity to drive it, and the car is spotlessly clean, and it's sunnier now because we've just been driving around for about an hour. You'll get to see that paintwork, and it's brilliant. So I really appreciate it, and I'll shake your hand.
No, you're very welcome, Sam. It's always a pleasure.
Much.
Always a pleasure.
And yeah, you'll join me outside with that final walk around conclusion.
You can see them in the sun. I mean, one thing this car's got going for it, and I don't know if it's going to do it justice, that electric yellow, that pearlescent yellow, looks absolutely brilliant in the sun. I do have to say, the blue looks also equally unbelievable and sparkly. Ford nail it. And you kind of get an idea of what the cars are like from the rear. This car being the ST, it's got the Puma badge sort of in black. Being electric, they've got it in white, which looks really, really nice. Yeah, and you've got sort of obviously like the main part. This one's got an exhaust, which is nice, and a lovely ST badge. I want to see an ST badge on that. Let me know in the comments if you think that's going to kind of happen. And to have these cars and to kind of share them has been brilliant. And just to get a bit of a drive in that, it makes me realise how much I love a sporty car, I have to say. I want a bit more sportiness out of this. I really, really do. And I just don't think we're quite there. But one thing I will say is this is the closest I feel we've got to having an electric car where I'd be like, yes, go for it, do it. It's got a lot going for it, and actually it's got some proper quirky features. It's got obviously an actual boot in the front here, which is impressive, to be fair, as well as that giga storage. This has got the mega box and is plenty like practical enough as well. Gorgeous colours. You know, I've shown you the front a few times before. Yeah, that's kind of a little bit of my conclusion. And, you know, please feel free to disagree with me or agree with me, or, you know, it's all subjective. But if you had to choose between one or the other today in August 2025, I'm in the hybrid camp. That's just where I'm at. I think the Ford Puma is an excellent car. It's the best-selling car in the UK. It has been for so long, coming after the Fiesta. Ford are on the right tracks with this. They really are. Personally, I was saying to the owner, I didn't see much wrong with the 1.5 three-cylinder petrol. I don't know why that car disappeared, but it has. You've got the 1 litre hybrid. You know, I feel it was great. It just drove really well and was super fun. And it's got a little bit of a rumble to it, you know. You do get a bit more space, actually, with the transmission tunnel being a little bit different. I'll try and show you what I mean with that on my kind of conclusion of this. Because you open up the ST, the hybrid, it's definitely a smaller wheel, but you see what I mean? You've got these lovely Recaro seats and the panoramic roof. I'll do the owner justice and open that one up because it's absolutely glorious. But you see, you don't get that there. And I thought the whole point of electric was that you get more space. You get something spacious under that, but it felt a bit more airy actually in here, which I was really surprised about. That's not what I expected. Whereas if you come round and go across into, well, we won't go into the driver's seat because it blocks off a bit. If you come into here, you see how it's just higher up. You do feel a bit more cocooned. I think the owner said that. You get the space here, but it's higher up. And oh yeah, that wheel is definitely bigger. That is bigger. It's almost too big, really. There's the hybrid. I don't want to be here sort of like, well, I'll say it kind of as it is, like going, oh, don't get the electric. You know, if you can charge your car from home and you don't mind that it's possibly only going to get about 200-mile range, go for it. You know, it's a great car. It doesn't sacrifice any of the practicalities, and actually it's got a bigger sort of that boot at the rear, which is super cool. I'll pop open this boot. Because this one has, it's like the mega storage at the bottom. Can you see? It's got that sort of space, which is really helpful and handy. I love the folding tailgate. That's a big positive of these cars. And then basically on this, you've got the swipe. You can do it like that and it'll open it up. It is quite a cool, quirky feature to have that. And that is spacious. You can use it as a result. At the front of this car, you've got the petrol engine. At the front of that, you've basically got a small little storage to basically store your charging cable. So at least that doesn't sort of get in the way. And you've got the lights shown there. Again, exactly the same lights in the electric as you've got in the hybrid. As you can see them sparkling. And I hope the sun does it justice. With the recording. I mean, I'm recording this on the GoPro in 4K, so let's hope it all comes out well for you. That paintwork, which Ford always nail. I suppose some of the negatives of the Puma, there's a few plasticky bits, a few bits of rattles I've noticed from my kind of time with it. But then the price point at just under sort of £30,000 potentially for an electric one is the biggest point for me. Get it at the lowest price possible. Get your deals from Ford. Get a nice colour. Yes, you can go for it with a panoramic roof. You can go with it with all the options if you want. But, you know, I mean, this has the 19-inch wheels. They're an option as well. The contrast black roof's an option. This paint is one of the more expensive paints. You don't have to go for all of that. Keep the costs down and you've got a great family little car. It's a Fiesta raised up. What's your conclusion in the comments? Leave me a really long comment. It's a community channel. We're all here to kind of get involved. I don't think from my side, I'm not sort of like, I'll look at those and I smile. I love it in aqua blue as well. But it's not for me. I wouldn't put my money into it. And I have to be honest with you with that. Whereas I probably would put my money into that